Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a couple weeks, but it's your favorites, Marky and John, here with the Big Nick Energy Pod. High energy, but unfortunately, we just watched Jalen Brunson's buzzer beater against the Bulls go in and then go out. Not the best end of a back-to-back and almost epic comeback, but Marky, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. All things considered, I thought the Knicks looked good coming back from a very listless first half. It sucks. Jalen missed that shot, but they were in that position and they lost.
They definitely dug themselves a deep first half hole coming on the back end of a back-to-back. Almost dug themselves out of it, but yeah, boneheaded foul by Josh Hart at the end and
brutal
a bucket going in and out. Not to mention some clutch free throw shooting by the Bulls. Can't knock that from Kobe White hitting all three of those foul shots.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I really wanted that back-to-back sweep.
Yeah, same. That was, oh man, they looked so listless in the first half. Like it was just, they were almost resigned to just, we're going to lose this game. Whatever happens. But, they are a very good team. And I challenge anyone who still thinks the Cat and Randall trade might be dumb.
It's looking interesting. The depth is still not great from that trade, but I do think it's looking good. This team's looking good. I mean, I think last night and tonight were the first two times, especially in back-to-backs, that this team was starting to look like a fully functioning, fully operational Death Star. Sure. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. They look good. I do know what you mean.
They look very good. I mean, they definitely came out flat first half. I saw OG pull up for three at one point and clanked pretty early on, and I was like, we're in for a rough one. I know there's been a lot of talk about Tibbs running the starters into the ground, and they definitely look pretty tired throughout the game tonight. But I also think they dug down deep. I think we're seeing Cat start to be a real playmaker and starting to move the ball a lot. The shooting was great tonight, at least in the second half. Shout out our love or hate guy Campaign.
Dude, Campaign fucking showed up.
I thought we were about to come on and start calling it the Campaign game. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, hold on. We've got a lot of season to go. And when I was saying they look good, I thought we were talking about the Sixers game from last night. A good Philly beatdown, which seems like we own them now. Like the Knicks own fucking Philadelphia. It's so fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Anyway, no, it's great. I love it.
Shout out Dave Carlson. Boo.
Shout out Dave Carlson, our friend who no one listening has heard of or knows about.
Sorry.
Unless you remember the tornado in New York City a long time ago. But
right.
Philly beatdowns are always fun. I think we're going to talk about last night's game later on in the pod.
Sure.
But let's stick with Bulls for now.
Campaign. Sorry. To talk about this game, Campaign was fucking gave 17, 18 minutes I have? Yeah. And I almost thought for a split second Tibbs wasn't going to put Brunson back in. Or rotate guys where Brunson comes in, but Payne finishes out the game with the rest of the guys. That he was on such a heater that it was like, how do you do it? But he eventually did the Tibbs thing, and
I mean, he was definitely on a heat check. I don't want Campaign out there in crunch time. I think we got. I got the exact amount of Campaign we needed tonight. He
got to experience though the drug that is playing for the Knicks and hitting big fucking shots at the Garden. Hearing it. You know what I mean?
This was a big Garden game too. I don't know about you, but I was checking Instagram during the game, and I knew like 10 very different people throughout the arena at this game tonight. I feel like this could have been a big New York night if they had ended up pulling it out. But I do still think the team is the city's loving the team, and things are trending right.
I agree with you. I think I had a friend text me before. His name is Pete. We call him Sad Pete. He's a lifelong Knicks fan, just beaten down.
Which of us aren't?
I know, but he really is. Hold on. He just texted me. Don't get me wrong. I am happy they fought back and at least made it a game, but the quote unquote vibes are off right now.
Oh, I disagree entirely. I think the vibes are starting to click.
If anything tonight.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
It's all good, man. It's late. I know we're recording this. We literally just watched the game end. Marky's on the East Coast, so it's 10:30 his time. I'm on the West Coast,
late.
so it's only 7:30 my time. So yeah, I might be a little bit more alert than you at this point in time. But that's all good. We can still get a good pot out.
No, but they were gelling.
They were gelling hard.
That was awesome. I thought them coming together in the middle of the third quarter when they started to make that run, it was like, dude, like you saw McHale fucking seeing things. You saw you saw a lot of good things coming from this team.
Absolutely. OG's looked incredible the last two nights. I know I mentioned earlier that he had a flat three, but that was it. He turned it on in the second half. I said this a few weeks ago on the pod, but as OG goes, the offense goes. I don't remember the stat offhand. Tommy Beer posted a stat about the Knicks record when they have as a team 30 assists or more versus when they have 30 assists or less. When this team moves the ball, guys are getting open, guys are cutting. They're finally understanding where each person on the team is going to be. They're finally starting to gel. I think it's only looking up from here on out. I mean, I know it sucks they lost this. I know it sucks they dropped back below 500 at 5-6. But I think we're going to see a lot more wins and a lot fewer losses from here on out.
I agree. I think it's way too early in the season to hit the panic button. I wanted to say that if we didn't get a chance to record last week, but I thought the Tibbs 7-man rotation was really burning out these guys to where they weren't able to close out games. And I think that is true. Even tonight, they played Matt Ryan. Guys got in, but what minutes did they really play? The same seven dudes were literally being Tibbsed.
For those who missed it, I went on SNY. Shout out to our boy Brandon London. Thank you for having me on. But we were talking about how the team looks gassed and they were getting a little too Tibbs. The back-to-back forced some of the bench to play. I think the bench contributed well. We've talked about campaign. We mentioned Matt Ryan. Even the last few nights, my number one enemy, Jericho Sims, has looked pretty good, especially last night. He had some solid defensive stops and blocks. So maybe he is finally coming around. But I do think, things are looking up and, maybe this is a team that didn't put in the offseason workouts as much as we thought. And they're still finding their legs for the season because they didn't look this gassed at the end of last year. And that's all I'll say there.
Yeah, no, I get you. And yes, I did notice Sims has made some good plays, but he's still doing the things where he'll grab a tough rebound and then immediately look to try to pass out and then lose the ball somehow.
Sure. I'm not saying he's perfect, but we only have so much backup big depth until Precious comes back and hopefully Mitch comes back. And Sims, maybe he's hearing some of the critiques. Maybe he realized this might be his last shot at minutes. Maybe he realizes it's finally put up or shut up time. And hopefully it means put up time.
Dude, hopefully. I think that's what we all hope for, is that this is his time to shine. You only get so many opportunities as somebody who was drafted as late as he was to be a second backup big man in the league on a team with this high of expectations. I hope that fire is lit under his ass. That's
what we've been asking for from the start. From one of our first pods, you were calling him out.
Yep.
1000%. It's funny though. You mentioned him coming down with the rebound. And not always being secure with the ball, potentially turning it over in transition. You know who else does that a lot and almost came really close to traveling at a key moment in the game tonight?
Who?
Josh Hart.
Oh, yes.
If you ever notice when he comes down with a lot of defensive rebounds in key moments, I mean, it's awesome. He's looking to turn and move the ball the other way, but sometimes he's just moving a little too fast for his own body control, I think. And he came really close to a bad travel in the final minute or two of the game tonight on one of those where he got the board and just went to take off and didn't have his full weight under him.
So my thought is the full weight under him is that the league allows that, that he's making this effort play, that it's forgiven a little bit.
Oh, sure. I hope so. I mean, I'm nitpicking here. Obviously, Josh Hart is our heart and soul. Triple double last night. I feel like he's our version of Draymond Green at this point, and I kind of love it.
He's better than Draymond Green. He doesn't fucking suck at life. Not taking away from Draymond as a basketball player.
As far as I'm aware, Josh Hart has not punched a teammate yet, but Draymond Green is a Hall of Fame basketball player. So I don't want to disrespect Draymond. You know, he might hear this, go on his own podcast and start talking bad about us. And we
can only hope. We can only hope.
Actually, we do need that. We do want that.
We do need that. Let's get some views up.
Draymond, come at us.
Punch me.
Let's go, Draymond. Marky and I versus you, 2-on-1 basketball game. Let's see who wins.
And our tag team name is the Pool Brothers. Let's go.
The Pool Boys?
The Pool Boys. Let's go. Let's go. Dude, I feel so good. This was such a shitty loss, but I feel so good about the team. Like watching Towns drop 40 plus. Brunson in crunch time when you need a bucket. I had no faith, no thought he was going to miss the shot before and the shot that went in and out. I thought they were all good. Like I wasn't stressing. I was like, Brunson got this.
Same.
It was like we have our own Kobe. Not calling him Kobe.
No, I'm not. The in and out. The in and out was about as the in and out was about as close to down as it could be, and then it came out. So as a West Coaster, watch games through NBA League Pass, which is always a little delayed. So the only reason I knew the shot wasn't going in is because about 3 seconds before he pulled up, I got the alert that the Knicks had lost.
The alert sucks. I too now am now that I'm not in New York, I am also an NBA.
I think your feed might have been a little ahead of mine. It takes a little while to get out here to us West Coasters, but we get it eventually, you know.
Yeah, it's still good stuff.
No, but I think that can open us to talking to us about I think that can open us up to talk about the last two games as a whole, because I do think they're kind of two parts of the same thing. Obviously, NBA Cup action kicking off this week. Knicks' first NBA Cup game last night against the Sixers. First time the Knicks are back in Philly after Game 6. I was at Game 6, so I love seeing the Knicks win in Philly. Shout out to everybody else who was at Game 6, especially the Knicks fans, because that was a fun night. But I think we're seeing this team really gel. You know, something we've talked about before in replacing Ihart was that kind of secondary playmaker to Brunson. I mentioned this earlier with the assist stat and everything, but like we're seeing this team move the ball a lot. Cat himself is starting to really take off as a playmaker and a facilitator. That one no-look pass, I mean, it's now been everywhere on highlights, but that one no-look pass to OG was it OG or McCall?
No, it was Mikal, because Mikal looked at, he was like,
he's like, where did this come from? Let's go.
That was awesome.
That was incredible.
And Mikal is Mikhail. How do you say his name differently than me?
McCall. I've always been told it's McCall. You'd think we'd look it up at this point. We've been doing this for a month or two.
I hear everybody else call it differently around me. So
I'm probably wrong. Us West Coasters, we say.
Let's just say Bridges and call it a day, because you cannot fuck up Bridges.
Nash Bridges, baby. I don't know what that was.
Bridges in Madison County.
Exactly. But no, I'm excited. We've got the Nets on Friday. Next NBA Cup game, I do believe. Let's talk about the Cup, because this is a fun thing. The league started it last year. It injects some energy into the first part of the season.
I was stoked last year. We got pretty far last year, if I do recall. Like our point total was high enough to get us.
We made it to the knockout stage. So anybody at home who needs a refresher, the way the NBA Cup works is the league is broken out into 6 groups, 3 in the West, 3 in the East, 5 teams in each group. And you play a round robin. The number 1 seed in each group move on. And then the top 2 at-large teams with the highest point differential also move on. So the Knicks got one of those point differential seeds last year. They made it to what is then the knockout stage. They did get eliminated. For those who don't remember, the Lakers beat the Pacers in the final of that. And there is a banner at the Staples Center / Crypto Arena for that in-season tournament, which everyone will forever make fun of, and they'll also make fun of the team that wins it this year. So that's the format. It's a super fun thing. As was mentioned earlier in the week, this Knicks team was built to win in May and hopefully June, so I don't think most of us really care what they do, but still it's fun, and I'd like to see them do well. So we've beaten the Sixers, we got the Nets next, and then there's the Magic and the Hornets to play. And with Paolo going down, that Magic team is still tough, but I think the Sixers were the hardest one to get out of the way. I think the Knicks could win out and sweep this group. And as opposed to last year having to luck into the knockout stage as a point differential team, I think they can just go in as one of the 1 seeds and have a bit better seeding. Because if you remember, they had to go play at Milwaukee back when Milwaukee was still good, and that didn't go so well. So I'm excited for the Cup.
Milwaukee's not good anymore. What happened?
I don't know. I think Doc Rivers came in and things went to shit.
Did a holiday happen? Like some sort of
a holiday where you have work off, or a Drew who's now in Boston?
Did they drew up something wrong?
Is Dame maybe not Dame anymore? Who can say?
Is there a Lillard? That's it.
Not to be confused with Alan Lazard.
No, not Alan Lazard. I am a Jets fan, so let's not bring the Jets juju into the Knicks realm.
No, right. Nor the Giants and their number 1 pick. Yeah. But no. So, we went back to Philly first time since the playoffs with something that mattered a little. A lot was made about Embiid's return. And again, this was a point I made early in the week on that SNY hit. But I think something interesting about these 2 games and why it's been tough on the Knicks so far. If you look at the schedule, the Knicks have played the Celtics, they've played the Pacers, they've played a lot of teams, even the Pistons. They've played a lot of teams whose rosters haven't changed much from the end of last season to this year. Teams that are largely the same and that know how to play each other because they're kind of picking back up where they started. The one exception to that is probably the Hawks. They had the Dejounte Murray trade. The Hawks are doing weird things. They beat the Knicks. Trae Young's not playing great. They're not playing great. But, you look at the Sixers. Maxi's hurt. Paul George and Embiid are playing their first regular season game together. That's a roster that's in a lot of flux, and the Knicks blew them out. The Bulls were going through their own changes. Obviously, second half of a back-to-back, Knicks came out flat. We've already said that. Sure. But the Bulls, they traded away Caruso for Giddey. Not a huge roster mover, but still a pretty big one. Caruso is a big cog. It
still changes the dynamic,
and Giddey's a ball-dominant player, so that's a new offense they're working on. The Bulls are always kind of a weird question mark these days. But I do think kind of these 2 games show that when you're not playing the defending champions who haven't been broken up or a team that really knows each other well, the Knicks still have more talent than just about anyone out there. And as it comes together, that's going to keep shining through more and more.
I agree. 1,000%. And at the end of the day, I want to win. I was debating somebody the other day, do you actually care about the in-season tournament? I'm like, no, but also it's now a thing. So of course I want to win it. I want our team to win that championship.
No, it's a fun thing for the start of the season. It injects some energy into November and December. Yeah. I personally wish it was more of a January thing, because I think that, or it can't be March because March is way too close to the playoffs. Sure, to me, those are the more dead times of the season. I wish there was something to inject a little energy when you're just waiting for the
Christmas
playoffs
game.
To start. When it have it start on Christmas or something like that. That would be fun. But yeah, no, I mean, I care so much as I want the Knicks to win every game they play, and might as well put some sort of banner up as opposed to, Kristaps Porzingis wins the skills challenge or whatever meme banner actually is going up in the Garden JPEG.
So in my brain, I don't want us to win the in-season tournament challenge, or I call it the challenge, like it's an MTV World Rules thing.
Technically, it's the NBA Cup. We should stop calling it the in-season tournament.
Yeah,
too.
It's the NBA Cup. The Emirates NBA Cup.
Emirates, but yes.
Whatever. I can't say that shit. It's Emiratis. Just like Mikhail. I can't say it. Now I have an Irish accent. Anyway, I don't want us to win that championship before we win the real championship.
Well, I mean, chronologically, that might happen just because of the way the world works. But yeah.
I know. It's almost like an excuse of some way where it's like, well, we got this during the Jalen Brunson era. Like, no.
I hear you. And I don't think anybody will ever be like, but we won this. I think it's just a fun thing to hang.
Well, you're in LA. I'm sure there's some LA fans that are like,
trust me. Nobody is like that at all. I can assure you that. I'm not going to claim
fans won it. They won.
Clipper fans, that's a whole different thing. I'm not going to claim to be the world's biggest soccer fan because I'm definitely not. But when I moved to LA 7 years ago, I did get heavily into the relatively new
MLS
MLS club out here, LAFC. I was a season ticket holder for a number of years, and the NBA Cup is something they're bringing over from the world of soccer. There's a bunch of different in-season cup tournaments. Some are only in America, some are North and South and Central America, kind of different things. Obviously, they're taking that from the various European things like Champions League and other things.
Sure.
And they're just a fun dynamic to inject energy into the season. I know the courts were a topic. I like the courts. I think the courts are fun. I like that the players seem to like the courts. They even mentioned last year that the courts make them feel like the stakes are different. And personally, I love Jalen Brunson's pink Kobe's last night on that Blue Philly court.
It looked awesome. I agree with you.
You get some dope color popping on these things, and that's a lot of fun.
Me being the old man now that I'm approaching I am in my late 30s, I'm like, where's the hardwood courts? But also, like, it makes it feel different. And, watching last night, I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. It gives it a whole new, and I get the aspect. I'm a businessman. You're a businessman. It ain't a businessman. Like, you want the younger fans to be engaged. And it's like, you see like a blue court and it's like, why is this different? And now the NBA is basically breeding, and we're getting off on a tangent here.
That's all good.
Like new people to be young kids to get into the game. And even if their team sucks, like if you live in whatever part of LA, people root for the Clippers.
It's kind of dispersed. It's all good.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to keep ripping on the Clippers tonight, but I do want to say, I feel like we're winding down a little bit. This team was built for getting healthy into June. Or staying healthy, I should say, into June. There's been a lot of overreactions, and I don't think we should overreact at all. Whether we won tonight or not, prior to last night, the Knicks were still below 500 at the time. Whatever. This ain't June.
No, totally. And I don't think we've been overreacting. I mean, I've definitely seen comments on our clips of people being like, we're overreacting. I don't think we have been. We've just been pointing out things that we're seeing with the team. And we're also pointing out right now that a lot of those things are starting to get fixed. And we're liking what we see. So I think things are good. I don't think anybody's overreacting yet.
Well, I don't think we're overreacting. I'm seeing other people overreact is my point. Like, chill. Just Aaron Rodgers once said it when he was in Green Bay before he ruined the Jets. RELAX. Relax.
Amen. I'm trying.
The Knicks are going to be fine. I feel so good about the squad. And if they stay healthy, sky's the limit.
I think that does enough for us catching up. I know it's been a few weeks. Sorry, we've been gone. I had some work travel that was extended while I was out, so that kind of got in the way. And then we kind of wanted to just let last week breathe. But we're back now. We'll see you again next week. We'll see you again every week here on the Big Nick Energy Pod. Don't forget to follow Big Nick Energy _ on Twitter, Big Nick Energy on Instagram. I'm John Kolnoski, JONKOLNOSKI on Instagram. You won't find me on Twitter, but I am on Blue Sky with the same name. Marky, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at MarkyGK, MarkyGK, and on Instagram at Marky Capicato. That's my full name. And if you can figure it out, find me.
Don't forget, if you have questions, email us at bkepod@gmail.com. We got that inbox going, and we're looking forward to answering anything you might want to talk about. I think that does it for now. We'll see you again next week.